it's Kay. Welcome to my build guide for the Skelly Mage's Necromancer. This video is one of my endgame builds that you can transition to after saving up currency to buy the required uniques. It focuses on skeleton mages as the soul damage dealers, and it is balanced towards DPS rather than tankiness. After the showcase, I will talk about the key features of the build, the passives, Ascendancy and Pantheon, and gear including gems and links. The build requires Dead Reckoning. It changes your Summon Skeleton skill gem to summon Skelly mages that cast fire, cold, or lightning projectiles. The other required unique is Fleshcrafter, which allows the mages to completely ignore all elemental resistances. And we are also using Maw of Mischief to reduce the cost of summoning skellies. We have punishment in the shield and Assassin's Mark in the gloves. So when you self-cast punishment, it will trigger Assassin's Mark. The build uses one host and 2 Carnage Chieftains to provide frenzy and power charges. The Host Chieftain and Assassin's Mark will help make sure your mages have power charges in boss fights. Here's the passive tree for the build. Note that this achievement is anointed on Amulet. You need a Sovereignty cluster to reduce mana reserve, and there are also several masteries. There are 2 sets of cluster jewels. The large jewels are minion damage with 8 or 9 points, with Call to the Slaughter and Renewal. I also recommend Feasting Fiends to help keep your Carrion Golem or AG alive. You need 1 medium minion jewel with Blessed Rebirth, which makes your skellies invulnerable for a short time. In the small sockets, use Fortress Covenant, Quickening Covenant, Surging Vitality, and Enduring Composure. Enduring Composure generates endurance charges when you get hit, and Surging Vitality gives a nice bit of regen. In the 4 jewel sockets, use Dead Reckoning and Ghastly Eye jewels to get life and increased damage. For the Ascendancies, Unnatural Strength gives a nice buff to your minions' damage and survivability. Commander of Darkness helps with balancing elemental resists. And Mistress of Sacrifice lets you get extra block chance from Bone Offering or extra cast speed from Flesh Offering. For the Pantheon, I like to use Lunaris and Shakari for reducing and avoiding damage. Here is an overview of the gear including gems and links. This build requires the Fleshcrafter unique body armor to fully work. However, I also have an alternative build without Fleshcrafter in the description below as well as on the forum guide. For the helmet, use Mauve Mischief. Note that the Death Wish ability is not used in this build. The gems are Zealotry, Generosity, Skitterbots, and Unbound Elements. For the body armor, you must use Fleshcrafter. The gems are Vow Summon Skeletons, Predator, Minion Damage, Increase Critical Damage, Spell Echo, and PS. For bossing, you can swap PS to Hypothermia for more damage. And if you have a white socket, you can swap to Elemental Focus instead. Note that Spell Echo lets you summon 8 skellies at once, but the mages don't get the double cast. However, they do get more cast speed. For the gloves, use Vixen's Entrapment. The gems are Assassin's Mark, Flame Dash, Faster Casting, and Enhance, which will double the chance to get power charges from Assassin's Mark. For the boots, I recommend +2 to socketed minions which drops in Delve. The links are Ray Spectre, Feeding Frenzy, Life Tap, and Minion Life. The Chieftain Spectres have a small mana pool and low mana regen, so Life Tap lets them quickly recast their power and frenzy charges. For your main weapon, the important mods are +1 to minions and +1 to spells. You will also need an open suffix to craft trigger. The gems are Desecrate, Flesh Offering, and level 1 Arcane Surge. You can swap to Bone Offering for extra block chance. For your offhand, you can use a shield with Recover Life when you block, or a second wand for more DPS. The gems are Cast when damage taken, Immortal Core, and Increased Duration. For the amulet, use a Hunter Amulet with +1 to Int gems, or a Hunter Elder Amulet with +1 to Int and +1 to Skelly number. The anointment is Death Attunement using Clear, Crimson, and Silver oil. For the rings, look for or craft minion speed to help with clear speed. For the belt, use a Stygian Vice to socket a Ghastly Eye Jewel for extra life and minion mods. Lastly, the flasks are Panicked Life with Staunching for bleed removal, Jade for extra evasion, Quicksilver for a speed boost, Quartz for phasing, and Granite for extra armor. Before I finish the video, I'd like to give a shout out to my patrons for your ongoing support. Thank you! Okay, I hope you enjoyed this build guide. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching, bye!